And now, Daljit Dhaliwal.
Will South Africa's upcoming elections set the stage for an upset of the ruling African National Congress? Will voters angry about corruption, poverty and crime pin their hopes to the new breakaway party, the Congress of the People? Here to give us some perspective is Gerald LaMelle, the director of the Washington, D.C.-based Africa Action. Gerald, welcome back to Foreign Exchange.
Pleasure to be here, Dal.
Talk a little bit about COPE, the Congress of the People. What caused it to split from the ANC?
Well, COPE really came into being after Thabo Mbeki was forced out as president. It was believed that a more or less a popular uprising, including some machinations by some of the leadership within the ANC, some those associated with Jacob Zuma, were engaged in in accusations that Mbeki was interfering vis-a-vis the corruption charges against Jacob Zuma. And a court very favorable to Jacob Zuma ruled that Mbeki had in fact interfered, and subsequently he resigned. When he resigned, a number of leadership within the ANC felt that that this was wrong, and for a variety of reasons decided to form a new Congress of the People party, which would split from the ANC.
Are the differences also ethnic and tribal, and to do with differences over economic policies?
I think the biggest difference is over economic policies. I don't think it's there's the ethnic differences as pronounced as typical and across the continent. But economic policies are very important, and this parenthetically is why Jacob Zuma remains very, very popular, particularly with poor people in South Africa. The perception is that Thabo Mbeki did not address the issue of poverty in South Africa, that he...
Special rural poverty.
Absolutely, absolutely. He embraced policies that were often imposed by the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, the structural adjustment type, free market type programs that are often criticized for being for promoting or preserving poverty across the continent.
And has COPE taken off? Is it going to threaten the ANC's preeminence at the polls?
Well, interestingly, in the recent by-elections, COPE did not do well at all. In fact, in the Eastern Cape, which is Thabo Mbeki's district in South Africa, COPE didn't win a seat in the by-elections. And the ANC did extremely well. So clearly, a lot of the leadership in the Western Cape went. I'm sorry, in the Eastern Cape went with Mbeki, but the people did not. They still voted for the ANC, which was a troubling sign. And clearly, COPE recognizes that they have to do better in getting their messages out.
You know, the ANC is regarded as much more than a government in power or a political party. It was one of the most respected liberation movements with a leader who was revered around the world. So put this split into context for us. Is it polarizing South Africans?
Well, I don't think so. I see it more as just the natural evolution. The ANC was very important for the particular reason of fighting against apartheid. They were the strength of the movement inside South Africa and outside. The ANC helped form Africa Action, for example. But the fact of the matter is that these things evolve, and political systems evolve, and people's attitudes evolve. And you know, we've seen this across the continent. Africa Action for 56 years of working first with liberation struggles, then with new governments, and then with you know, ultimately people's struggles against these new governments. The fact of the matter is, once you get into leadership position, you're responsible for the country, things get a lot more complicated. And the skills and the charisma, the charismatic leaders who were great during the anti-apartheid years are not necessarily the best ones cut out to provide leadership that a country needs. And so these are important questions that need to be answered.
Right, so in a sense, is the emergence of COPE a significant marker in the maturation of South Africa's democracy towards a real two-party system?
I think so. I think so. But I think the onus, though, is on COPE to get its message out far more coherently than they've done so in the past. We have seen, even in this country, when the Reform Party was created, there's a breakaway from the Democrats and Republicans, and what it seemed to be from those of us on the outside is guys who were frustrated they couldn't make their way in the two big parties, so they wanted to create a similar party outside. And that won't work. You know, if it's just a scramble for power and you can't get it through the ANC, so you want to do it outside, that's not going to appeal to anybody. They have to have a message. They have to concern themselves with all the people in the country, not just simply the wealthy. And they have to make sure that that people are protected, communities are protected, workers are protected. And you know, as we seek to encourage investment, that we don't give away the store in order to secure investments, foreign direct investments elsewhere. We need to secure progress for the people inside.
Okay. Well, Gerald LaMelle, thank you very much for joining us. Good to see you again.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.